Gaming Bolt presents 15 games that totally had no need to be completely online. Games as a service and live games have been quite the trend over the years, and they show no signs of slowing down. Numerous upcoming games like Fallout 76, The Division 2, and Anthem are proof of this. However, do so many games need to be always online? We decided to take a look at 15 games through history that had no need to be predominantly or completely online. And yes, while some added offline options later, this doesn't excuse the miserable launch experiences of many. The Crew 2. What's baffling about Ivy Tower's The Crew 2 is the strong focus on solo play. There's no PvP options, nor can you challenge any driver you meet. However, the always online addendum still applies, since other racers, all 7 of them, can occupy your instance. Considering the entire game is seemingly built for the solo player with very little unique group content or PvP, why did it have to be always online? Assassin's Creed 2. The progenitor for Ubisoft's online approach, which admittedly has become less severe over the years, the PC version of Assassin's Creed 2 possessed an always online DRM that could, among other things, drop your game without saving progress in case of disconnects. When paying customers have to crack your game just to play it offline, you know something went wrong somewhere. Silent Hunter 5: Battle of the Atlantic. Remember when everyone hated Ubisoft? Yeah, you remember, and it was because of practices like this. Silent Hunter 5: Battle of the Atlantic utilized the exact same always online DRM system as Assassin's Creed 2. So again, if your connection was halted during play, tough luck. What happens if Ubisoft servers are facing a DDoS attack like in March 2010? Well, again, tough luck. Silent Hunter 5 would receive an offline option, albeit 1 year later. Driver San Francisco. Driver San Francisco marks the end of an era for Ubisoft. It was the final game to utilize Ubisoft's draconian DRM, so again, this time with emphasis, if you wanted to play when servers were down or without an internet connection, it simply wasn't possible. Ubisoft would finally nuke its always online DRM in 2011 in favor of a one-time online check during installation in PC games. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is an example of this. However, looking at the current landscape of Ubisoft titles, has that much really changed? Destiny. Bungie's multi-million-dollar shared world pseudo-MMO has been harangued ever since it launched. We get the whole shared world concept, and some people genuinely like the team-based nature of the endgame or meeting new players in the wild. Vendor resets, raid resets, nightfall changes, etc. are all a decent case for shared world mechanics. Regardless, if wishes were fishes, we really wish Bungie found a way to make the heroic strikes, prison of elders, raids, and so on playable offline. Add bots, adjust the difficulty for solo player, whatever. Tom Clancy's The Division. As fans of Tom Clancy's The Division, we're still bewildered by its always online approach. The entire game can be played solo. Only the incursions and higher levels of the horde mode resistance require a team. Furthermore, you don't really see any random players out in the wild unless they're on your friends list. Granted, daily and weekly vendor resets along with storing player items on servers is a thing. Like Destiny though, we still can't help but feel so much of this would have been possible offline. Need for Speed 2015. With the success of other always online titles, why wouldn't EA want a piece of the proverbial profit pie? Try saying that with a sense of pride and accomplishment. Anyway, Need for Speed 2015 took this approach with a single-player campaign that required an internet connection. This was all for the sake of autolog, which, to be honest, is completely superfluous without other friends playing the game. At least Need for Speed Payback had an offline campaign option, even if it messed up just about everything else in terms of gameplay, monetization, and so on. Star Wars Battlefront. Technically, Star Wars Battlefront wasn't completely online at launch. You could still play some wave-based horde missions offline, even if they were totally boring. That counts for something, right? The sheer lack of single-player content was an embarrassment at the time. Thankfully, several months later, EA added offline options for Walker Assault and Fighter Squadron, allowing solo players to compete with bots at various difficulties. It also brought a campaign to Star Wars Battlefront 2, though arguably for the worse. Hitman 2016. IO Interactive's Hitman 2016 is a prime example of confusion when it comes to being always online. At first, you had to be online for saving in some areas. This couldn't be changed because then publisher Square Enix wanted to keep supporting the game with new contracts, challenges, and whatnots. Live content, if you will. It was possible to play offline if you made a separate save file, but IO Interactive finally relented and patched the game to be completely playable offline. Leaderboards, regular updates, and live events weren't available, but it was a welcome change. Now, if only this was possible at launch when server troubles prevented players from being able to even open the game. Diablo 3. I don't need to tell you how Diablo 3 was effectively ruined on launch day, due to being always online and facing tremendous server load on PC. However, the real kicker is that the game is playable offline on consoles. Furthermore, it doesn't have any special shared world features or anything beyond regular updates. So what gives? Piracy concerns? Just give us an offline option on PC already, Blizzard. StarCraft 2. To be fair, StarCraft 2's online requirement isn't as bad as Diablo 3. You are required to log in once, and then you can choose an offline option. Lo and behold, the campaign, challenge missions, and so on are all playable offline. The question is, how often must you connect to the internet and log in? Well, some players have complained about not being able to access the game offline after not logging in for a few days. Others estimate it to be 30 days per login. Either way, no internet, no StarCraft 2 for you. SimCity 2013. EA made quite the mess of SimCity 2013 at launch. Smaller city size is one thing, but it was the always online nature that effectively destroyed it. Server issues at launch and the entire game forcing multiplayer killed any interest in the franchise going forward. That's not even counting all the bugs, terrible AI, and numerous features missing from previous games. In the end, SimCity 2013 did receive an offline option, but the damage had been done. For Honor. Throughout this list, a number of different reasons have been provided for Ubisoft's titles being always online post the Assassin's Creed 2 DRM debacle. Say what you will about The Crew 2 or The Division, but why does the campaign in For Honor require an internet connection? It's completely separate from the multiplayer, aside from progression being shared between both. But honestly, how many games have we seen do this while also managing to have an offline campaign? Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Electronic Arts' Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 had its share of challenges at launch with game balance and whatnot. However, it also implemented some dumb online requirements. For instance, when playing on PS4 and Xbox One, PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold were required for online multiplayer. Fair enough, right? However, even if these weren't required for online and split-screen play, you still needed an internet connection to run these modes. Darkspore. Of course, we can't forget perhaps the worst instance of always online DRM from EA. Problems first arose in 2013 when EA removed Darkspore from Steam, sparking fears that support had stopped. It later re-emerged and the publisher promised continued support. However, in March 2016, servers were shut down for good. That means if you own a copy of Darkspore, you can't play the game at all. No offline options for single player, nothing. Stay classy, EA.
And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.